Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Sonic the Hedgehog. In this case, me. Or should I call myself a Blue Blur or Blue Justice, if you will. Happy birthday to me. Yeah, sorry about little particular singing right there, because I'll discuss on that details once we get this video started. So, hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, aka the Blue Blur, aka Blue Justice. And I am from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos, as you probably expect at this point in time. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Sonic Frontiers for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, PC Steam, and finally the Nintendo Switch. So last time we've essentially managed able to continue exploring through the forms of Chaos Island, and oh no, we actually did not too shabby for the most part, even though despite the fact that we've only got 2 Chaos Emeralds so far during the course of in Chaos Island, but that's just because, as I said before, I need to go ahead and explore through a multitude of areas for the sake of the forms of Chaos Island as a result. So as you can tell about the fact that we're actually getting some slow progressioning so far in Chaos Island, but eventually at some form or another, we can definitely decide able to catch up during the forms of that particular progression as far as this is concerned. So either way, so speaking of which though, today for this video is about the fact that we're about to be continuing experiencing during the forms of Chaos Island, by go ahead and talk to Tails again, except this time we need to do something for once.
Look, it's an assault model Death Egg robot. It looks pretty entrenched. I'll take a look around. Let me know if you find anything.
You don't see something like this every day. These things are tough to take down, even for me. Wonder what took it out. Maybe that ghost girl.
Hey, Sonic, I found a remote control panel. It's still online.
Well, let's see what Eggman was trying to do with this thing. And if it goes bad, you can shut it off.
Yeah, because we somehow bump into that particular Death Egg robot since in Sonic Forces, because you know with that similar design, in addition to that with the honorable mention when it comes to Team Sonic Racing as well, in one of those ice-themed tracks and stuff like that. So, anyway, let's get this minigame started, and as you can tell, we are playing Ikawuka, or should I say Galaga, or anything else like that. So basically in this particular minigame right here, is that you need to able to destroy that particular thing itself for about multiple shots. And here's the catch, we do have ourselves not only the dark shot, but also the light shot as well. You know, it's kind of like the forms of Ikawuka version of Metroid Prime 2 Echoes or something like that, because obviously with Metroid Prime 2, does manage to able to have the light and dark aspect, which as a result, it's kind of interesting for that reference or something like that. But either way though, it's been about 2 days ago since I played this for sure, but either way though, that's for a topic for a later time. So either way, so yeah, it's gonna be able to make sure you don't able to waste all of your lives, as you can tell. And as you can tell, also about the fact that if you keep on shooting all of those specific stuff, basically the gauge will start to increase. And basically once the gauge is full up, is your chance to able to pull off a devastating special shot. And that way you can able to clear out all kinds of enemies here. And in addition to that, you can also manage to able to deal with the amount of damage to the forms of that main unit itself. So, when you get the hang of it though, it's actually not too shabby for the most part in the beginning, but I'll admit though right away though, later on it gets a bit super duper ridiculous, especially noticeable since we're on hard mode, that we get ourselves an exclusive boss fight nearly at the end of the game, so, and believe me, it will get a lot more painful, so, I'll admit though right away though, because I'm not looking forward to the end game though, I must be honest.
That did the trick.
Yep, it revealed a subterranean pathway. Be careful though. Whatever took out that Super Badnik might still be lurking around.
I hear that. Thanks, buddy. I'll see you later.
Anyway, so now we've actually done with that, and that actually creates a massive hole, so just to ensure we can able to actually access to the third Chaos Emerald along the way. But first off, let me go ahead and talk to Tails again.
Yo.
Hey, this Coco is an apprentice to their top pilot. They need to find the parts to complete their final weapons. I'm sure you've run into this scenario already. What did you do?
Well, I helped him out.
But isn't that cruel? Their battle is long over. This feels dishonest.
We're not fixing the problem they think they have, but we are bringing them peace.
Well, when you put it that way... Let's get to work.
Just in case for some side stories needs to be accomplished and stuff like that, so, or even in some cases though with certain progressioning for the sake of the main story itself. So, anyways, a few things I want to explain for this point today, and that is about the fact that, well, if you couldn't tell from that particular hint, as what I did earlier, for the sake of the forms of the beginning portion of the video, that today's date, of course, is the 23rd of June today, in this case in 2023 today. Naturally speaking, today is the day, and that is about the fact that not only it is the Sonic the Hedgehog's 32nd birthday today, but also about the fact no matter what though, there's another presentation called the Sonic Central, which did recently came up today. But unfortunately though, I don't feel like trying to talk about it for today, because it's probably best if Mario and Luigi will both mention more about it, until whenever they go back onto Mario Super Sluggers during at some point until tomorrow. So because of this though, so for the time being, about the fact that as far as I predicted this earlier, since in the last video, about the fact that, yeah, I think it's probably best for me to able to actually discuss upon the second half, in terms of the forms of the remaining Nintendo Direct announcements they brings us into. Because, well, obviously recently Pac-Man has already mentioned about the first half of the forms of, you know, the recent Nintendo Direct announcements during the forms of just recently. But one thing he totally forgot to mention about, and that is about the fact that, well, it's kind of similar situation as the forms of Super Mario 3D All-Stars when it comes to both Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2, all in one particular bundle pack in the Nintendo Switch version, specifically the digital version as well as the forms of the physical version, where basically though is about the fact that, well, I'm pretty sure about the fact that, take like Super Mario Sunshine for example, where normally if you boot up the game of Super Mario Sunshine in Super Mario 3D All-Stars compilation, where basically it's about the fact that it only shows the Nintendo logo, that could be also applied to the forms of Pikmin 2, as well as Pikmin 1. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, as far as we predicted that correctly, it's like an HD emulated version of not only Pikmin 1, but also Pikmin 2 as well. And even not to mention though, much like the forms of, well, the good thing about this is though, is about the fact that in addition to having ourselves the widescreen at all times, so that should be a massive improvement, and as a result, about the fact that, as far as what Pac-Man has already mentioned about this before, that it features the actual control scheme pretty similar to the forms of the GameCube version of Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, I don't think there's any motion controls in there this time around, so kind of a shame honestly. But at the very least on the upside is though, is that unlike the GameCube version of Pikmin 1, where basically though is about the fact that thank god there is actually the actual day changing system based off on the Wii version. So it's like a combination of the GameCube and the Wii version of Pikmin 1, but I'm pretty sure Pikmin 2 is pretty much unchanged based off from the Wii version. So, like, you're still able to actually have yourselves your widescreen support, and in addition to that, though, is about the fact that I'm pretty sure it contains the exact same amount of content than any forms of how it does it in, well, you know what I'm saying, both the GameCube and the Wii version specifically. Although, it's pretty crazy to think about the fact that we're now getting 3 versions of not only Pikmin 1, but also Pikmin 2 as well. And even then though, meanwhile for Pikmin 3 only has 2 versions. So as a result, Pikmin 4 is the only exception to that because, well, it's a brand new game. So as a result, yeah, it's pretty much expected. So anyway, enough about that, and I'm pretty sure about the fact that Pac-Man has already mentioned about this, is that the release date for the physical version of Pikmin 1 and 2 in the actual double pack is going to be releasing at some point in September 22nd or something like that. So even then though, expecting about the fact that, well, it's pretty amazing to be able to now have every single Pikmin games on the Nintendo Switch right now. The only one exception to this though, and that is of course Hey Pikmin, because I'm pretty sure Hey Pikmin does not proceed very well. Especially noticeable as one of the worst Pikmin games ever created. Especially noticeable because of how bland the actual game can be. And especially noticeable about the fact that there's no new Pikmin types that's actually introduced during the forms of Hey Pikmin, because it's kind of like, well, it's hard to explain really, because it's been quite a few days since I actually have last played Hey Pikmin, despite it's ridiculously cheap nowadays, especially concerning about the fact that the reason why I got the game is because I want to add to my Pikmin collection. Well, aside from the fact that there was no way I can still able to get the original versions of not only Pikmin, but also Pikmin 2 both on the GameCube, because obviously the Wii version is still feels a bit more superior to me though. In addition to that, there's no way we can able to get Pikmin 3 on the Wii U now because the DLC is shut down. Because, you know, the Wii U eShop is now currently dead since like roughly 3 months ago. Well, I should say almost roughly 3 months ago, but that's besides the point. So anyways, let's obtain the third Chaos Emerald in Chaos Island, and we've only got 4 left, so as to be expected, we'll get the 7th and final one once we're able to, as usual, come across into the Titan. So, yeah, that's what I can really say about it, I guess. So, anyways, let's go through here and use the dash ramp to able to go from one place to the other while going on a 2D section from time to time. So, anyway, the next announcement that brings us into for that particular recent Nintendo Direct, and that's what appears to be yet another compilation game, except this time around though, what appears to be by the forms of Metal Gear Solid. So as a result, that is pretty cool to be able to now actually have the Nintendo Switch versions of not only Metal Gear Solid 1, but also Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, as well as Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, even with the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, and even the NES version of Metal Gear, as well as Snake's Revenge. And as far as I'm aware, the compilation of the actual game itself is expecting to be releasing at some point until the 24th of October. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to actually now experience those amazing Metal Gear Solid games on the Nintendo Switch on the go. The only exception being is, of course, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, but either way though, that'll be a topic in the future. So even then, yeah, that's actually pretty cool, especially noticeable you can now play those games on the go. And what makes it cooler is that, much like the forms of the Batman Arkham Trilogy, no cloud versions, so that should be all good. So, yeah.
We need a few more pieces, but we're having trouble finding them.
Gotcha. Be right back.
Alright, so before we discuss more details about the forms of the next announcement for that recent Nintendo Direct, let's get into the forms of the next challenge right here, and basically this one is about the fact that we need to keep on smashing those crates until we're able to collect certain mechanical collectibles, as you can tell. And we need to collect about roughly 600 of these things, so just to keep that in mind about the fact that we still need to able to have ourselves our 3 hit counter, as you can tell, because obviously if you dare touch the lava, then obviously you lose one of your hit points. So as a result, when you're able to actually done collecting all of those mechanical collectibles, then you should be able to get yourselves the usual green Chaos Emerald. So yeah, everything else will be pretty much accounted for, so either way though, chances are that as soon as you come across into a bigger box crate, you can pretty much guarantee you can able to get yourselves a whole bunch of those mechanical parts. So just to ensure about the fact that, yeah, something tells me about the fact that with the memory tokens is actually based off from wrenches, because obviously about the fact that, you know, Tails is actually the mechanical, you know, the mechanical kind of thing, which it's hard to explain really, because I know for a fact that, as I said before, it's been 2 days ago since I played this game, because obviously recently that I've managed able to try out Mario Plus Rapid Sparks of Hope, the last Spark Hunter, and so far I'm actually already in the halfway point in terms of story progression, because obviously there are still some side content here and there, just like the main game, so as a result you can still able to experience not only weapon skins, but also with the forms of sparks to obtain, and especially noticeable with the forms of the memories you still need to obtain, and all the other stuff. The only time exception is of course the actual, the key objects, I just realized. Spoiler alert for those who have not experienced that particular DLC yet, and of course there might be still some of those planet coins we can able to obtain as well, to able to actually buy, you know, more memories as well as weapon skins. And what makes this even cooler is that, thank God, we've now got ourselves more level progressioning. So as a result, normally during the forms of in the main game of Mario Plus Rapid Sparks of Hope, that normally the maximum we can only get up to is 30, whilst now we can now able to actually upgrade our level up skills even more. Like, I don't know exactly sure what the maximum you can get up to, but either way though, I suppose we'll find out in a later time, so there we go, challenge complete.
Well, that's it. The cannon is complete.
Did I get the wrong parts?
No, their hero didn't show. They're worried something's happened. It's like how I couldn't handle it after Infinite attacked. One wrong turn and I fall apart.
Whoa, what?
Listen to me. The others are counting on you. I'm here to help, so don't give up, okay?
You've got me worried, Tails. You wanna talk?
Not right now. Let's just focus on finding the emeralds.
Alright.
So of course we still need to find Tails again, so either way though, to be expected at this point. So anyways though, so yeah, what if I experienced the last Spark Hunter? As I said before, I actually really enjoy it so far. Although it does take me a bit of some time to get used to with like trying to deal with these new types of enemies, how to deal with. And especially noticeable about the fact that despite the actual the last Spark Hunter might actually felt a bit shorter than it falls within the main adventure itself, because obviously about the fact I'm pretty sure it takes place before the events of Towards the End game. Spoiler alert for those who have not experienced the game yet. So it's a shame about the fact that Mario Plus Rapid Sparks of Hope just somehow still gets underperformed. Like, I'm not exactly sure about the Cell unit, but at the very least it did reviewed very well, regardless of the forms of how well that game represented for. But either way though, because what I found out is that originally they were expecting to able to release Mario Plus Rapid Sparks of Hope on the next generation of consoles, but as it turns out it didn't happen. So as a result, yeah, because it was originally going to be attempted for, but either way though, beggars else can't be choosers, I guess.
Hey, almost done here. Can you take our friend and find a couple more parts? Yeah.
Can do.
Yay!
Miles Prower, you have known Sonic most of your life.
Yeah, and?
Your imprisonment within cyberspace. The defeat of the Ancients' Titans. Do you trust how he is handling it? With your life?
Of course. I'll admit he isn't perfect, but Sonic has overcome impossible odds over and over again. I know he'll save us all.
So you're saying you have faith in him?
It's not a matter of faith. I've got a lifetime of data to back up my observations.
Your loyalty is founded on empirical data. I can appreciate that. The feelings he inspires in you and the others, is that a facet of being alive? And yet all your love and loyalty will amount to nothing. It cannot be prevented.
What are you talking about?
Perhaps Perhaps it is kinder if you don't know.
Anyway, the next game they did reveals drew the forms of the Nintendo Direct, and that's what appears to be body forms of Vampire Survivors, and it's expected it's going to be releasing at some point in August 17th, which is specifically should be around 2 months from now. So, and after that, they got themselves the actual return of the forms of those championship tournaments and stuff like that, which it's been like, what, 4 years since the actual tournament takes place? Because obviously, unlike the other 3 years that we have to do with the forms of the lockdown, as you expect. So yeah, it's nice to see the forms of those specific tournaments or championship matches finally makes its return during the forms of the European countries, along with any other countries here and there as well. So these are include not only Splatoon 3 for the first time, but also we got ourselves the returning Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Championship. So as a result, that's actually pretty cool, and it's nice to be able to see the championship matches returns after the events of 2019. So even then though, at least it's almost getting to normality, so as a result for that kind of stuff though, I fully appreciate about that particular things is making a comeback. So anyway, the next game they did revealed, which out of nowhere, what appears to be body forms of this random game called Headbangers Rhythm Royal, and is expecting to be releasing at some point on the Halloween day, strangely enough, on the 31st of October this year, which as a result, it's like a pigeon rhythm game or something like that. Like, you have to able to do with the rhythm, and that's all there is to it. Think of like Rhythm Paradise, except with pigeons.
What is your end goal?
It varies. Sometimes it's a spinning sign, sometimes it's a big old ring.
No, I mean, what do you want to accomplish?
Oh. Gather up the Chaos Emeralds and save my friends.
And you're sure that is wise?
Kind of the story of my life.
And the voice that commands you. What if it is leading you to disaster?
If they want to start trouble, I'll stop them too.
You certainly make it sound simple. But your arrogance will be your undoing.
Look, either stop being cryptic and tell me what's going on, or skedaddle.
There would be no point.
Nice find. Take it on over to Tails. I'm gonna keep moving.
I have found a possible scenario for your escape.
It's about time. Report.
After reviewing your entire campaign history, I have found the most optimal course of action is to create an alliance with Sonic.
What?
But together you stopped the Ark, overcame Neo Metal. You...
I don't want to hear it. Those alliances were purely out of desperation.
But time is running out.
I don't want to hear it. Find me another option.
Your tenacity is legendary, but I do wish you'd reconsider.
I've lost count of how many times you've saved me from the hazards here.
It is my function. I live to serve.
You've exceeded your function. I'm very impressed with you, Sage. No, I'm proud of you.
Okay, so many cutscenes later. Anyway, the next game after that, when it comes to the forms of the recent Nintendo Direct, that's what appears to be buddy forms of Penny's Big Breakaway. And it looks kind of interesting, all things considered, because not only because it's a unique art style, but also about the fact that it's going to be releasing at some point in early next year in 2024. So yeah, that seems kind of interesting, because despite the fact that during the forms of the focus of the Direct was expecting about the fact that the main focus of it was actually based off from the likes of the second half of 2023, but occasionally though, we did see some of these upcoming games expecting to be releasing next year in 2024, before God knows if Nintendo decides able to make the next generation of consoles or something like that. So, but again, time will tell, especially noticeable about the fact that let's get into the exciting part of this topic, and thank God, we got ourselves the announcement of the forms of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 5. So, yeah, pretty cool, huh? Although, just like the forms of how it does it in Wave 4, back in February this year, when it comes to the forms of the Direct schedules, they only show one track and that's about it, but I'm sure enough they're able to bring the rest of the tracks later down the road before the actual DLC comes out. So as a result, in terms of the forms of the track they brings us into, is actually very unique, especially noticeable it does manage to take place in one of those house living departments, because as a result, do you guys even remember the forms of the GBA Ripon Road? Actually, I'll explain more details in a moment, because we have another cutscene.
Sonic, am I a burden to you?
Wow, and how did you come to this well-thought-out concern?
Whenever there's a crisis, I'm either running away or standing on the sidelines. You're always rescuing me when all I do is follow you around.
Hey, who was it who stopped Eggman from blowing up Station Square, huh? And who broke me out of prison, or saved me from the Deadly Six's trap?
Then I'm wildly inconsistent.
Dude, relax. You've got brains like Eggman, speed like me, and can fly with your butt. It's okay if you still need help sometimes. That's just part of growing up.
Huh. When did you get to be so insightful?
I have my moments.
They say the bridge is out.
I'm sure we can fix that. I'll have a look around.
So yeah, it looks like we're about to tackle through the next challenge, which appears to be Bridge the Gap. So basically, all we have to do in this particular challenge is that we need to do a skydiving. And basically, you do need to worry about the time limit, because obviously if the time runs out, you have to start all over again when it comes to the skydiving segment. So as a result, it's your best able to avoid not only certain enemies, as you can tell, but also trying to avoid the amount of those springs, because if you touch by any of those springs, it launches you back up a little. So as a result of that kind of stuff, though, it does kind of reminds me of one of those dream events you can able to play during the course of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games called Dream Platform. Like, basically you have to do a skydiving, and every once in a while you come across into those dash rings, which actually helps you out for this entire boost. So just to ensure about the fact that you need to able to be quick about it, because otherwise, as I said before, if you're not quick enough, chances are you get able to start all over again. And what if I first got to there on the Switch version, it actually took me a couple of tries on this particular point, because for the love of God, my momentum feels kind of screwy at points. But when you get the hang of it though, it might not be too shabby. It's just about the fact that you don't need to worry about all of those enemies. It's just about the fact that you need to worry about just trying to make your way to the very bottom. And exponentially, once you make your way to the very end, then you should be able to complete the challenge in the process.
say this was the last of the defensive measures.
Way to go. Your hero will be thrilled with all your hard work. And I'm proud of you. Don't forget that.
I won't.
Well, as it looks like, we actually got ourselves our next Chaos Emerald, so naturally speaking, we've only got 2 left. So, and for the time being, let's go ahead and find the next cyberspace transporter, so just in case we can able to grab more vault keys, despite the fact that it's a bit unnecessary for this point right now, because obviously we've already managed to unlock the next Chaos Emerald sealed altar thing for the sake of the forms of the Grey Chaos Emerald, which I suppose we'll try to obtain the Grey Chaos Emerald possibly until the next video, because I don't think it's possible we can able to get it for this video, so... Oh, you kidding me? The Fortress do somehow manage to do a jump scare syndrome just like what Squid does. Oh, that's annoying. Especially noticeable, I've already dealt with you since the beginning portion of the Chaos Island. I mean, the most annoying thing about this is, though, is that, as you can tell, we now ended up approaching towards the actual, the cyberspace transporter. I think this particular one has already been active or something, where basically about the fact that, the most annoying thing about this is, though, we have to do with a waiting times, and because of this, though, the actual button prop doesn't show up unless the actual Guardian decides to go away, and as a result, you have to wait for a while. God, this is dull. But at the very least, though, it won't be too long, aside from the fact that sometimes you have to keep an eye on with that particular combat gauge. So as a result, once that particular thing decides to go away, then we can pretty much guarantee we can now dive right into the next cyberspace level. So thankfully, it won't be nearly as bad as the forms of how it does it for Cyberspace 3-5, because my god, that was so disappointing with that particular cyberspace segment that we've already come across into. Anyway, in terms of the new track that's actually going to be introduced in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that's what appears to be body forms of a bathroom-themed track. And as a result, I'm really looking forward to see how that's going to turn out. Although, before I get into more details onto this though, if you couldn't tell what the level layout is actually based off from, obviously we're going back into Chemical Plant Zone yet again, except this time, I'm pretty sure this is based off from Chemical Plant Classic Sonic stage, based off from Sonic Generations or something. Well, mind you, it's been, again, 2 days since I actually have last played this, because, you know, I've been busy playing through, the last Spunk Hunter recently, and, yeah, that's what I can really say about that, I guess. So, anyway, yeah, because it does kind of reminds me of a similar vibe as in the Mario Kart 8 version of Ribbon Road. That usually in Ribbon Road, in 3D forms of Mario Kart 8, it usually takes place in, let's just say, like a bedroom or something like that, like filled to the brim with posters and everything. Well, in terms of the new track, it's going to take place in a bathroom, and I'm really looking forward to it. Especially, the track's name is Squeaky Clean Sprint. So as a result, it looks spectacular. Especially noticeable that unlike the past waves and stuff like that, that's when the quality decides to able to go in a massive improvement over the likes of how it does it in Wave 1, and especially noticeable maybe a little bit on Wave 2, but either way, though, that's a topic for a later time. So, now in addition to a brand new track that's going to be introduced, like, I just love the actual aesthetics about that particular track, by the way, because as I said before, it takes place in a bathroom, so you can naturally drive onto the actual sink tap, or to be more specifically, you can able to actually drive into the bath itself while it's, while the bath is running or something like that. And you can even expecting about the fact that you can able to stumble across into, well, I don't know, the drain pipe or anything else like that. So, yeah, it's actually pretty cool and radical at the same time. Although, it will be expected to be on Mario Kart Tour at some point, which I wasn't too surprised. Now, I mistakenly said back in Informative about the last video on this, and that is about the fact that I originally did say about the fact that I did expect able to get myself Waluigi Mii Racing suit. As it turns out, I didn't get the Waluigi Mii Racing suit at the end. You know why? Because of the RNG aspect of the stupid tier system. Although, to be fair, I did manage to get one of those rewards. That's what appears to be body forms of Waluigi Racer Mark II. That's about it, basically. So, yeah, I basically got ticked off about the forms I can't get the Waluigi Mii Racing suit, which is a shame, because obviously I would love to be able to obtain that, but again, because of the RNG aspect about the forms of the stupid tier system, which I'm still not a big fan of, and as a result, I got screwed over, like, in almost in every single agreement. So, yeah, it seems kind of sucks still. But anyway, though, actually, kind of think about it, I think this particular portion of Chemical Plant level, as you can tell, I think this is based off from the continuation of Chemical Plant Modern Sonic stage based off from Sonic Generations, if I'm assuming so correctly, because I recognize certain layouts and everything. So yeah, I apologize for that particular misleading topic at this point, especially because still I'm very excited to see what's going to be up next for the likes of Wave 5 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mind you, it has no release date still, but expecting it will be releasing at some point in this summer, so it could either be in July or August, just like in last year's Wave 2. Although, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And to make matters even better, not only are we about to get one character, not two, but 3 characters. So as a result, the characters are Petey Piranha is going to make its return after the events of Mario Kart Double Dash, so yeah, that's actually pretty nice, they're able to bring him back. And another character they bring back, which appears to be Wiggler, based off of Mario Kart 7, which, it seems kind of strange they're able to bring her back on the likes of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, believe it or not. Especially noticeable because, relatively speaking, despite she's still not on the forms of Mario Kart Tour, so as a result of that kind of stuff though, maybe they might as well add her later on, but again, time will tell, especially noticeable because at this point in time, that the next tour should be coming up at some point on next Wednesday, to be expected, and apparently we're about able to go into Rome in Italy. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, in addition to that, is that one of those Mario Kart Wii tracks is about to return, and that's what appears to be Moonview Highway, which as a result, that back in the day, that I remember that Moonview Highway was expected to be my least favorite tracks in Mario Kart Wii, but it's nice to see that particular HD treatment to Moonview Highway this time around on Mario Kart Tour, especially noticeable because concerning about the fact that I'm kinda sure too it might take place in a somewhat of a city tour or something. Well, mind you, I think we'll let both Mario and Luigi will both mention more details onto that specific topic until tomorrow's Mario Super Sluggers, expecting that both Mario and Luigi are expecting to come across into the toughest challenge ever in challenge mode. So, but either way, yeah, that's about that. So the final character that brings us into Wave 5, and that's actually very surprising because we're expecting to finally get Kamek as a playable character in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So pretty awesome potentially, because he was originally going to become playable in Mario Kart 64, but it's been scrapped and be replaced by Donkey Kong. So yeah, I guess that's pretty awesome to see how that particular Wave 5 did actually brings us something new to the table. So yeah, I was very excited to see how that's going to turn out. Mind you, we still only got about, let's just say, for about 7 courses left for Wave 5, but hopefully we'll stay tuned for that until when it's gonna... Son of a... Fortress, go away. I don't need you. Jeez. You're not going away, are you? Well, I suppose it doesn't matter, because obviously we're gonna have to able to boost our way to the next point. So, yeah, that was pretty unexpected. So, anyway, the next game after that, which appears to be buddy forms of, let's just say, is it like a remake or something? I'm not exactly sure. But the next game they did revealed, which appears to be buddy forms of the next Square Enix title, which, yeah, alongside with Super Mario RPG Remake. So as a result, we're about to be getting Star Ocean, the second story, R. So, I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be about. But then again though, I haven't exactly thought about the game for myself, and it's expecting to be releasing at some point on the 2nd of November. But after that though, we actually got ourselves a brand new WarioWare game is going to be on its way too. So as a result, it's going to call it WarioWare Move It, which kind of think about it, it's basically like a sequel to WarioWare Smooth Moves, and it's a good thing too we did manage to able to tackle for that particular Let's Play before that happened. So, yeah, because as far as I'm aware, with WarioWare Move Fit, it basically heavily utilizes the Joy-Con controllers as far as the mechanics are concerned. And as a result, they have to utilize the motion controls, which again, is very similar to the forms of how it does it in Smooth Moves back on the Wii. So, and it seems kind of weird about the fact that we're about to be getting 2 WarioWare games on a Nintendo Switch, which I almost assumed they were able to bring a Wario platformer game, but not anytime soon. So as a result, yeah, there's not much else to it, I guess. But it's nice to see WarioWare decides to able to get its shines bright again, or something related to that. So, but then again, it's been quite some time since I actually mentioned something related to WarioWare. But we still trying to able to catch up with the rest of this series when it comes to doing Let's Plays at this point, because I'm pretty sure that we've already finished up with Smooth Moves since by the end of April, and it's expecting that the next one we're gonna do is DIY on the DS or the WiiWare versions, so, or possibly both at the same time. Although I wish I'll see what happens in due time, especially noticeable about the fact that it's nice to have the second WarioWare game to be released on the Switch. I mean, it's kind of a similar treatment as the forms of not only on the Game Boy Advance, because the Game Boy Advance also has 2 WarioWare games. Well, despite the fact that in the European country only has 1, just because it never saw the light of day on the WarioWare Twisted in the UK's release because of the Quicksilver chip or something like that. Or it's hard to explain really, because I know for a fact it's been roughly about a year ago since I've last played WarioWare Twisted, ever since in a couple of days ago potentially. So, and yeah, as far as for that particular game is going to be releasing for WarioWare Move Fit, it's expected to be releasing in the 3rd of November. So, pretty excited all in all. And I think the rest of the actual cast is going to make its return after the events of WarioWare Get It Together. So as a result of that kind of stuff though, I'm very excited about that installment. And especially noticeable about the fact that, well, similar to the forms of how it does it in both of those Mario Party games, which there are Super Mario Party as well as Mario Party Superstars, they're basically about the fact that I get the strong sense of feeling that WarioWare Move Fit is another one of those games that doesn't utilize the portable mode, because it only requires motion controls for Joy-Con controllers, and there's no Pro Controller compatible, so I guess it's understandable because of the name of the title, so...
Hey, little bro. Feeling better?
Yeah, this whole experience gave me a kind of clarity. When this is all over, I think I need to go it alone for a while. I can't grow into my full potential if I always fall back on you. If that's okay.
You're free to go your own way. I guess you just grew up on me a little faster than I expected.
Are you saying I outpaced you?
Yeah, don't push it. It's gonna take some getting used to, but here's to you reaching new heights, partner.
Such a beautiful friendship. A family born of love and not genetics. Everything I want. I wish I'd never seen this. It was so much easier accepting the future when they were simply enemies.
Wait a minute, how come Sage just almost got into a blue form of herself? I suppose we'll find out more details about that in the future. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and end things off this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Sonic Frontiers. Is that we'll get ourselves our 6th Chaos Emerald and do some more stuff here and there. And hopefully we'll complete Chaos Island. So I'll see you guys until on Monday. Later, fellas.